Coming up on Design Science, did you know that the most functional design tool in our homes is a simple little thing called the light bulb? Most people think interior design is all about picking out pretty things. Well, I have a little secret for you. At the heart of every fabulous home design is science. I'm Julie Couch, and I'm here to help you take out the guesswork using tried and true formulas. Together, we'll explore the theories that lead to guaranteed gorgeous interiors. This is Design Science. Lighting can affect so much of our well-being. It can impact our appetite, our mood, even our overall mental health. When lighting a space, there are a multitude of factors to think about. Here are the 3 rules I use when it comes to illuminating a space. Step 1, create an overall master lighting plan. Much like designing a room, lighting design can make or break a space. With an understanding of what each type of lighting is for, you'll be set up for success. It helps if you can understand the layers of light that are at play. Ambient light is base lighting. Accent is more directional. Task is exactly what it sounds like. Step 2. Consider the size of a room and the color of the room with an eye towards balancing natural light. Step 3. Set up different types of lighting and give each of them clear purpose. Step 4, and possibly the most important step, always use a dimmer. And I mean always. There are some right and wrong answers with lighting. Unlike some creative decisions, lighting is very specific. So when I sit down at the beginning of a project, I make sure to really map out all the task lighting, being your recessed layer. Recessed lighting is essential in almost every space for task lighting, but you do want to make sure you have an even number, the lights are placed symmetrically, and they're at least 4 feet apart. So you really want to make sure every room has enough lighting that you're not relying on beautiful chandeliers to illuminate the entire room when your child is doing homework. You really want to make sure you have that workhorse lighting, which I think is recessed lighting. And then you can go into secondary layers like your decorative sconces, your beautiful chandeliers. And you also want to think about how are the lights going to complement each other. You want to make sure when you see all the lights at once, you're looking at a variety of lighting fixtures, but also they have something in common. So for me, that is oftentimes the metal finish. So there is a very strong tie to all the fixtures, but there's also a really interesting vibe. And when I'm working with clients, one thing that I always suggest strongly is that everything in the house is on a dimmer. It doesn't have to be a very elaborate AV system, but I do think everything can be on a dimmer because you can set an instant mood from day to night. You can also really look at your natural light, and if you don't need that light during the day, it's really nice to just maybe at night have a very dim light and illuminate your spaces. I am in this beautiful formal living space, and I love this deep color on the wall. It gives us tons of drama. It's a little bit dressier. Another thing we do to give you a little bit of glamour and drama is add wall sconces. Here we've done very traditional brass and crystal sconces. They're a fabulous way to give you ambient light, to add a lot of softness. And once you've found the beautiful sconce that you want to use, my rule of thumb is that you hang from the floor to the middle of your sconce 68 inches. Super easy for me to remember because I am 68 inches, but it's a great way to have it at a very human scale. It's usually eye level, and it creates just a beautiful ambient light. This is all about creating a beautiful atmosphere with lamp lighting, sconce lighting, your chandelier lighting, and really making everything elegant and beautiful. As you can see, this is a really large kitchen. It's kind of a dream kitchen. They have tons of real estate, but because of this large island, we wanted to have really dramatic pendants. I think these could actually be even bigger. And when you're thinking about hanging pendants over your island, You want to have room that you can talk and they're not in your way, you don't have light in your eyes, but you also want them to be part of this vignette. So I like to hang these lights 36 to 42 inches from the countertop to the bottom of your fixture. And then you want layered lighting. So not just the decorative, but we also want recessed lighting. If you're in here preparing food, if you're cooking, you're gonna have those lights on. And then obviously your under cabinet lighting. This is a great thing to have on just at night. In our house, this can even be like a night light. We'll leave it on at night. It just kind of illuminates the space, but it's very subtle. And again, it's great when you're working. So can we talk about this light? It is absolutely a piece of sculpture in this space. It's mixed metals, so it's actually little bitty chains, and it's silver and it's gold, and it's got this very organic feel, but they wanted to keep it very young and fresh. So we didn't want anything too formal or too rigid, and this was the best mix because even in a small space, you want to have some big moments of drama, and this definitely provides the drama. When you're thinking about installing your chandelier, especially above a dining table, you really want to be aware of the height from the table to the bottom of the fixture, not necessarily how far from the ceiling you want it to be. So the measurements that you want to remember, 36 inches from the tabletop to the bottom of your fixture, or if you haven't yet installed your dining room table, it's going to be 66 inches from the floor to the bottom of your fixture. When you think about lighting a room for task lighting, you really want recessed lighting. So I call that real life lighting because it's not the most beautiful, but it really is necessary. But of course, you also want some jewelry in your space. This ceiling light is a great example. You might have this dimmed really down, have all the recessed off, and you create a whole nother mood. I really like to have at least 7 feet from the floor to the bottom of the fixture. Obviously here we have 9-foot ceilings, so we had a little bit of room to play with, but that gives you plenty of room to walk under it if you want to. But then if you have an 8-foot ceilings, which we have a lot in ranch style houses, we want to maybe use a semi-flush or a flush mount because you don't want your tall guests to bump their heads as they walk through, and I think the 7 feet is really the perfect amount. Then you look at your lamp lighting, which is also another space that you can do a lower wattage, get it really soft, create kind of a glow. And it's always nice if you can avoid an overhead light. And so this is a really great way to add some illumination without having all these task light on. When I use table lamps like this that are on a console, I really think about making sure the shade on the light is a little bit more narrow than the width of the console because you don't want it to look like these huge shades, this little bitty console, but it does really provide a great anchor for your space. Hopefully, you'll never look at lighting the same way. With this newfound knowledge, I hope you can enjoy your own beautifully lit spaces in style. More next time on Design Science.